Estoy enraizado a la pradera por 4 generaciones. Ella está en mis sueños, eleva mi espíritu y es donde encuentro la paz. My name is Juan Pablo Alvez. I am from Uruguay. I come from 2-generation farm background. Well, ecosystem services are the services we receive from nature, and those are for free, mostly when nature is intact, the ecosystem structure is intact, and then it makes ecosystem processes and functions work. But what happens if we disrupt ecosystem structure, such as, overgrazing? You cut the forest, you put animals there, and then suddenly you affect the biodiversity. The soil starts getting more erosion, and then this will produce siltation in the rivers. Then the bed of the river will raise, and they will cause floods downstream, and they will disrupt communities downstream. That's a picture of how ecosystem services work. So in order to revert that is expensive. We have to either do mitigation or either do management practices that repair those problems. I have 2 case studies I'm working with. One is in Vermont and one is in Santa Catarina in Brazil. I have 9 sustainability indicators I'm studying. One is animal husbandry, biodiversity, community health, energy, farm financials, nutrient management, soil health, pest management, and water management. So I want to know which management method, either traditional management intensive grazing or confinement operations, deliver better sustainability indicators. In traditional grazing, you leave the animals to graze a large area, and they do not have paddocks or subcells in the pastures. So the pasture never rests. Animals regraze the same plants several times, and this debilitates the roots, and it makes the whole system less resilient. So with management intensive grazing, you divide up the land and you defer the animals. The animals will stay in every spot, in every paddock, from 12 hours to up to 3 days. The more paddocks you have, the less impact you will cause to the overall ecosystem in that place. 15 to 60 days later, this old paddock is completely ready to graze again. And with climate change, this is great because it's a fast way of building soils, storing carbon underground, and also producing great ecosystem services such as food and fiber. Adoptive management intensive grazing plays a really important role on this place, on the Atlantic forest of Brazil, because as an agroecological practice, it's more benign to the environment, and it makes farmers more independent as they start controlling their farm from the gate in the farm. They were able to double the amount of cows they milk. They milk more per cow. They have more time for leisure. They use much less antibiotics, much less veterinary medicines. So if they can manage pasture, produce more pasture, therefore produce more outputs such as milk, eggs, wool, or meat, they can have better finances. Their farm is engaged in the process, and therefore there's more community. This is what I'm finding in Brazil. Management intensive grazing is growing in Vermont, so it's catching up with traditional grazing and confinement operations. We are not aiming to come back to a pristine place, because it will be impossible to come back to a pristine place and to restore what was deforested and degraded. But at least, I think, in my view, the most important thing is to restore the flow of ecosystem services that was lost. If we can keep these farmers doing benign practices for the environment and happy, I think is a great achievement we can have.